There are some things like when you develop, let's say, a predictive algorithm, or you're trying to get your system to scale to God knows how many users, and you want to do it linearly without kind of building that algorithm or coding it first and then sort of running it through, developing a system to test it initially in your own office, somehow to develop an emulator for what are you actually going to be testing, then actually finding a client that is friendly enough to actually to be a guinea pig for you, and then eventually releasing it into the wild and just still observing, what's actually happening with your system, and whether some of the things you could not potentially even encounter unless you actually test it in a real life environment. So from that point of view, just recording these trials and tribulations as you go through, actually that's and putting it probably like in the form of a diary, or if you put it in Jira or something like that, essentially saying that there is an experiment going on and we're testing for certain criteria. So that will provide you the evidence that is needed, because unfortunately the regulators, they're actually evidence-based. So you have to provide them with something that they will actually say, yeah, we understand, and that's a document, and it has to be contemporaneous as well. So, and I think the more sort of you record, I think probably to step back from the IT world into the science world as we know it. In the past, scientists working in the lab would have a lab book, and in the lab book they would actually
everything down, right?
note everything down.
Yes.
Nowadays, hardly anybody uses notebooks. They might use iPads and stuff like that. But you have to create an equivalent of that notebook.